And I am back. Yes, it's me here finally to continue on talking about my experience with the Disney College Program. Here, about a year and a half since I actually left, which makes it pretty much, goodness, I'm getting close to a year since I posted the first video. So yeah, sorry it's taken so long. But here we go. Hopefully this one makes up for it. I'm going to attempt to answer some of the questions, or maybe hopefully a lot of the questions that a lot of people have been asking me on my YouTube channel via email or different message systems. Just a lot of different questions I've gotten about the Disney College Program, and I'll be as quick as I can. I might end up having to make this a two different part video just to keep it short enough to not be annoyingly long like the first one was. So let's dive right in my Disney College Program video part 2. Your questions answered. I'll try to go in chronological order here. So I had a question about how much does it cost, or you know, what is all that going on? Well, it's pretty much free. You do have to make a deposit on the apartment before you go down there, but you are actually getting paid. It is a paid internship that you go for, and you work there and are paid. They take the apartment cost out of your paycheck, so you never have to worry about whether or not you're going to have the money there. So as long as you're actually going to work like you should be, you're going to be getting paid. Now, people have also asked if you get paid well for the amount of work you do. The answer to that is yes and no. You are getting paid a minimum wage, so it's not a large amount of money. You're not going to make a whole ton while you're there, but you are being paid. I came home with roughly $100, $150 more than I went with. I made sure to go with plenty of money in my bank account so that I wouldn't get in trouble while I was there, because there are a lot of people that come back in the hole, you know, they lose a lot of money, but it just depends on your spending habits. Are you going to go to Disney? Are you going to spend tons of money or not? So the amount of money you do or don't make while you're working in the Disney College Program is completely up to you. I felt like it was a fair price because I was just doing a Disney College Program. Like I said, I came back with like $150 more than I went with, which is not a whole ton of money, but it was enough to live on, obviously, because I had the best time of my life while I was there. Check-in process and how early to be at check-in. Now, I was at check-in, I think, an hour and a half or 2 hours before check-in time, just so that I could make sure to get an apartment that I wanted to be in. But I have recently heard, and I do not know if this is true or not, but I have recently heard that they might start pre-deciding what apartment you're going to be in, so that there might not be any reason to be there early for check-in. I'm not sure if that's factual or not. If anyone out there knows whether that's true or not, please let me know. But I was there about an hour and a half or 2 hours before official check-in time because I wanted to make sure that I was going to be in an apartment that I wanted to be in. The check-in process is real simple. They walk you through it step by step. You go through this big line and wait through it. The whole process, I think, took me about an hour and a half, 2 hours. They took my parents on a tour of the apartments and answered questions and whatnot about the program that they might have, and fun stuff like that. It was real simple. You go in, you make sure to bring all the papers they tell you to bring, you sign things, you get your ID made, and all kinds of different things. So it's all set up. You get your key, you get your whatever, and then you go to casting on that same day, which is where basically they go do a background check on you and do whatnot. So, and that's where my whole thing with Bree happened and whatnot. So all that happens on your check-in day and whatnot. I said whatnot a lot. I say whatnot a lot. Whatnot. Another question is, how quickly do you have access to the parks? I would say it ranges from 2 to 4 days after you check in, because you get your actual blue ID to access and get into the parks roughly pretty much when you finish traditions, which is your kind of orientation, welcome to the Disney College Program thing that you go through, class sort of thing. So yeah, 2 to 4 days after check-in. I think mine was 3 days after check-in. Yeah, I had 2 days of a whole lot of nothing and doing traditions, which is really, you have to wear your professional getup and whatnot. But they'll tell you all about traditions when you get there. If you're going to go, that's a thing that you do. But yeah, 2 to 4 days after you go is when you get your access to the parks. How do the apartments work? Now, I'm not quite sure how this was supposed to be asked, but basically you've got Vista Way, Chatham Square, and you've got the Patterson Courts. Chatham Square and Patterson Court. Yeah, that one. They're all very different. I said about Vista Way in my last video that I wouldn't talk about it, but I'll tell you plain and simple. Vista Way is the party place. A lot of people have parties, lots of things go on at Vista Way. It's a lot louder. It's the oldest apartment complex, so they're not quite as nice as the others. But a lot of people love Vista Way because it is the party place, but I'm not a party person. No, thank you. So I went to Chatham Square. Chatham Square is the perfect balance, I think, between Vista Way and Patterson Court, because it's quieter than Vista Way, but it's not too quiet. You can go have fun with friends and good stuff. Patterson Court is lovingly deemed the retirement home because it is super quiet there. It's like nothing ever goes on in Patterson Court. I don't know if that's changed. I don't think it has, but Patterson Court is the most expensive. It's like $1 more than Chatham Square. And Patterson Court also doesn't have its own bus stop. You have to go to Chatham's bus stop, which is not too terribly far, but it's more convenient for me to have the bus stop because Vista Way and Chatham have their own bus stop while Patterson Court doesn't. So my suggestion overall is Chatham Square. But if you're a party person, sure, go for Vista Way. If you really want peace and quiet, go to Patterson and be an old retired person.